Hello and welcome back to REV Endurance Sports and what I think is going to be an interesting video for some of you. If I have any doctor types, physician's assistants and things like that, you might be interested in what's going to go down. Let's give you the backdrop. Yesterday, I went out on a ride, like 2.5 hours, like a really short ride for me. I was pressed for time. I had to get to a doctor's appointment. More on that later. So, went out for 2.5 hours, didn't eat or drink anything during the ride, so no fluids and no calories of any type. And it was, as I mentioned, about 2.5 hours, 45 miles, I don't know, 3,000 or so feet of climbing. Pretty intense in the sense that it was rollers, big ring, hard efforts, recover on the downhills, recover on the flats, hard effort on each one of the rollers in the big ring. Now my big ring is a 54 tooth chain ring because I have the 12-speed crankset, which comes in a 54 big ring, 40 little inner ring. So if you're out there on a compact crank, 50 tooth is not really the big ring, right? 53 and above is typically big ring. So I know that'll bug some of you. Anyway, so hard efforts, 2.5 hours, back to the house, shower, get to the doctor's appointment. This is all just basically annual checkup type stuff. Nothing, there was no acute injury or malady or ache, pain, or anything that prompted the visit. It was just a annual physical, if you will. So the commenter, and now obviously anytime I post a ride that is a no-no ride, so no stops for no reason. So in other words, whatever I've got on board, that's it. So 2 bottles, 6-hour training ride, 8-hour training ride, and no stops for the bathroom. So some people are like, oh, that's terrible for your kidneys, so on. And then I also do, just for experimentation, just to test my body, I also do 0-0 rides. So 0 calories, 0 fluids. And I just do it just to see where I'm at. You know, after 2.5 hours, I did a pretty decent sprint, over 10 watts per kilo. I'm not a sprinter. I'm an endurance rider. But anyway, the point is plenty of energy. I was not lethargic. I was not bonking in any way. And actually so that was yesterday, which was Wednesday. On Monday, Christmas Day, I did 4.5 hours. No fluids, no calories. And it was a zone 3, zone 4 ride. All of this stuff you can find on my Strava. So someone on my Strava ride, the 2.5 hour short ride, was like, oh, that's dangerous. And, blah, 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 blah. I'm like, dude, seriously? What do you know about my body? What do you know about the thousands and thousands of miles I've ridden purposely without fluids or without calories just to test my body? What do you know about the 200, 500 mile races, race across America, all the stuff I've done in the endurance space for 20 plus years? You don't know enough about my body to say that something is dangerous. So I clapped back. Probably silly of me, but when people start talking about something in a theoretical sense, and they don't know how it really applies to me as an individual, I find that alarmist, and there's no need for that. Background on this particular rider, he averages 1.3 hours on the bike per day, or per ride, 5,000 and something miles for the year, 24 miles per ride. So by contrast, 10,000 miles I've ridden this year, 72 miles per ride, about 5 hours per ride. So I know my body very, very well. And so for him, who only rides 1.3 hours per ride, he's probably thinking, wow, he just rode twice the amount of time that I ride, so 2.5 hours, and he didn't take on any calories, he didn't take on any water. Wow, that's dangerous. But it was nothing. I mean, it doesn't even move the needle of 2.5 hours. So anyway, what he didn't know is that I was going to get blood work done that same day, right? So now we'll give you a little sneak peek, or a inside peek. So here we go. This is my blood work for that day. Well, historically, of course, but it was taken on that day, right? So yesterday, the 27th. And, looks like everything's in a natural band, right? I'm sorry, normal range. Okay. So there's all that. So we'll back, and then we'll also take a complete look at this one, or I should say a look at this one, which is a complete blah, 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 right? So everything is in the normal ranges. Maybe my hemoglobin's a little low, but all within normal ranges. So my kidney function, my liver function, everything has been looked at through both of these blood work tests. So, I've been doing this type of endurance stuff for decades. And apologies for this. I've been doing this stuff for decades. So you would think I would have caused damage to my kidneys, to my liver, to all my internal organs, according to this gentleman. I don't advise that you folks do what I do to my body. These are the things I do to my body because I wish to test them. When I do 200 milers or some of these other things, the reason I train my century rides, my 100 milers, my 160K rides with no stops for no reason is so that when I do a 200 miler, I know I can probably do the first 100 miles of the event without having to stop for fluids, without having to stop to use the facilities. I'm not a fast rider. So when I ride in an event with much faster riders, I need to find an advantage somewhere, somehow. And that to me is less time off the bike, more time pedaling with the wheels rolling. So in the first 100 miles of a double century, there might be 2 stops, maybe 3. If I can avoid those 3 stops, because no matter how fast you think you can get in and out of an aid station, you're going to be there at least 5 minutes. It's just almost impossible. There's line up for the water, there's line up for the potty, for the porta potty. You're just not going to be able to get out of there fast, no matter how fast you think you are. And if it's a mandatory checkpoint as well, everyone's lined up. These are small events, grassroots, with volunteers, which are usually the family members of someone who's actually riding, or they're riders themselves. So you can't be rude, you can't run in there and just like, hurry up, check me in, and hurry up and fill these bottles. You thank them because they volunteered. You go through the system, through the aid station. You work yourself through the system, get your potty break, get your fluids and calories, and get back out as polite. Somehow, I had a phone call come in and it kind of cut off the video. So I apologize if there's a continuity issue here as to my thought pattern. But I guess I just wanted to finish off by saying that I don't recommend what I'm doing to test my own body. You folks do you. If you need to drink water, if you need to drink electrolytes, if you need to eat calories, please do that if that is what If you're thriving by doing that, then continue to do that. I just like to test myself. And also, it occurred to me that while you're looking at my blood work and stuff, I don't eat fruits or vegetables. I mean, I just don't buy them for the house. I don't eat them. So this is all basically on a carnivore keto type diet, but even I'm more carnivore than anything else. I just eat meat, animal products, cream for my coffee, and eggs and meat and stuff like that. I just don't eat vegetables. I don't eat fruit. So again, this is something you need to discover for yourself. I feel great that way. I feel great when I fast for 48 hours without any fluids, without obviously no calories, or when I do a water fast for 4, 5, 6, 7 days. So I feel good this way. You have to discover what is good for you, how you feel good, what nutrition on the bike, off the bike makes you efficient, powerful, and confident that you can get through an event, a training ride, or an endurance event. You have to decide what that is for you. This is not medical advice. This is just what I do for my body. All right, anyway, I think that's all for today. Please like and subscribe. I'm sure this is going to either ruffle some feathers, or some folks might say, yeah, I do the same thing. What's the big deal? So let's hear from you. Make some comments down below. Be kind, be polite, be what's the word I'm looking for? Contribute. Make sure you are...
It's 12 o'clock.
12 o'clock. Make sure you are contributing to the discussion. Negative Nancy's, just not necessary. Okay, thank you so much for tuning in. Please like and subscribe. We'll see you up the road.